Hi, for you that don't know me, my name's Tania Dalton. I'm a Gunditj Mara Wathaurong woman from Victoria. I facilitated two very dynamic sessions that generated a lot of discussion, which was fantastic. The first one was by Dr. Wollumbai Waters, who's a Kamilaroi man, and was talking about autoethnography and was particularly passionate about cultural memory and retention and how it is essential to our social and emotional well-being, and it is our very existence. And it was a very moving and emotional presentation, actually, where he gave a lot of himself and his own story. And part of that was the greatest way we can honour our ancestors and to give to ourselves and give to our children is through giving them language and cultural memory, and to not talking about the deficits of our culture, but to talk about the strengths of our culture and about our ancestors. And it was very powerful. We talked about repatriation as not just about the burial of our ancestors and the honouring of them when we bring their bones back to country. It's also about language, ceremony, cultural practice, and remembering the ways, origins of who we are as an Aboriginal people. And I think one of the recommendations was from Mark that he told the story of the Maori culture and how they embedded language in their preschools that then led on to going into their primary schools and then into their after-school classes where culture becomes strong and everybody learnt the Maori language, and that was their rebirth. And Aboriginal people need to be part of that. The second presentation was by Dion Tatau, who didn't come from Vancouver, but part of his heritage is from Vanuatu. And the presentation was based on lighting the dark, and it was Preventing Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Suicide program, and their first charter was to make a DVD. From that DVD come several recommendations, and they did some community consultations, which, as we all know, the breadth of our work just expands and it becomes richer. So part of the findings from that, of course, was that we need local responses by the local communities, and it is paramount. We can have the best programs in the world, but if we're not talking to the people in our communities about what their needs are and the way they want to address it, it's not going anywhere. And one of the recommendations was that funding for local resources for suicide prevention is critical, and we need workforce support, because they were talking about the training of their social and emotional wellbeing officers, about them being the first responders to attempted suicides and suicides that happened in the community rather than police or the hospital, and also about putting money into resource development on a local level. Thank you.